Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a little while since I've had a video come out, but today I wanted to talk about a game that I honestly have not been able to put down. I have been just constantly playing this game. So, with the release of Borderlands 3, I thought the game was pretty good, and overall, I really did enjoy it, but there was just some element that maybe I was missing or that I just couldn't quite get with those games. And Fallout 76 really left a bad taste in my mouth. So again, I was looking for my shooter game. I was looking for that open world game that really would satisfy my needs when it came to the shooting and looting genre and just the RPG genre. And this game, without a doubt, The Outer Worlds has to be the game that I feel has finally brought that to me. Without a doubt, I really enjoyed Borderlands 3, but this game, honestly, I think might be the best shooter-looter RPG game that has been out to date. I know that's saying a lot, especially with, Gearbox and Bethesda both. This is, a developing company that, kind of died and then came back with Obsidian. So this game kinda is from the people who didn't make it in the past. I mean, yes, they did come out with Fallout New Vegas, but honestly, I don't think a lot of us saw this game being bigger than Fallout 76 or better than, in some regards, for Borderlands 3. Now, I love Borderlands 3. I'm trying not to get a lot of hate for that because I made a lot of videos about that, and I really do enjoy Borderlands 3, and honestly, I would put this up there with it. But The Outer Worlds is honestly one of the best games I've probably ever played, and probably one of the best RPG games, definitely one of the best shooter RPG games that I have ever played. I mean, it's hard to even know where to begin with because this game is so expansive and big. With character development to the guns, to the skills, the perks, everything in this game honestly is super fun. You can look at the gameplay and just tell that this game actually looks really good. I mean, yes, this is a video, so the graphics are going to be a little bit worse than actual real gameplay, so you can expect it to look a little bit better. And with the release of this game coming out in 2020, or I guess this year, it's hard saying 2020. I just don't expect to say that, I expect to say a teen number, but I'm saying 20. It's just, I don't know, I ain't quite feeling like saying that just yet. I don't know, my brain's still in the teens when it comes to the years. Anyways, I digress, but this game honestly will look amazing when it hits PC and should function really well when it came to PC. I saw this game earlier whenever they were showing some trailers and different things for it, and I said, screw it, I'm going to pick it up and buy it because it was $45 on the PlayStation, so I figured, heck, I'll try Steam. It's not out on PC yet, so I was a little bit disappointed at that, but still, I got it on PlayStation instead for $45. This game could have been $60. I still would have been happy. I was really teetering on the edge because I was never a big Fallout fan. I have Fallout 3 and I have Fallout 4 as well. Maybe because I wasn't big, I didn't play a lot of Fallout 3 because it was considered to be older, so the graphics looked a little bit worse when I first started playing that game. I was used to Skyrim, and that's when I kind of picked up on Bethesda. And when Fallout 4 came out, there was a lot of garbage with that game. Bethesda, kind of going downhill in quality. So maybe I just was a little bit late to the Fallout, boat and kind of ended up playing the Fallout games at the worst time I possibly could. Not saying they're bad games, but I never got into the Fallout series. And me being a Borderlands player and a BioShock player, this game literally feels like BioShock, Fallout, and Borderlands all put together and more. Without a doubt, this is a super fun game. If you're a person who likes to deal with a lot of dialogue, this is a fun game. If you're a person who likes to just loot and upgrade and have better guns, this is your game. If you like that weird BioShock style, this is your game as well. This hits all three of those games perfectly, while at the same time adding a lot of new stuff to it as well. The hacking system in this game isn't super hard or super complex. Hacking computers and picklocking are considered to be two different skills, which is really fun. The character creation in this game is somewhat limited. It's definitely not like a Bethesda game. It's more, you have these lists of kind of presets and you can edit the faces, you can edit like the eyebrows, the nose, stuff like that a little bit, and that's about roughly it. Then you pick your class, which you end up having, more proficiency in, and at the same time, you get to have a certain amount of points, which you can put into different things for your skills, and then these different skills kind of are bunched together, like technology bunches together, like certain skills like hacking and like sneak and different things like that. They're grouped together to begin with, but once you get that certain category like technology or defense, once you get that up to level 50, you start speccing into specific things within that. So maybe you spec defense all the way up to 50, well then it unlocks the ability to where you're going to like actually level up specific things within defense, like dodging or using a shield. You start becoming more proficient in certain defense techniques once you get your defense to a certain level, and that works for all things in this game. Every other level though, because every level you get 10 of these points to spec into anything, so you could put all 10 into something like defense, or you could put it all into like dialogue so you're good at talking to people, or what you can do is spread them evenly. I kind of just picked and choose different things. I went with a gun class, so I put it into more gun stuff. I didn't use it on melee or anything like that, so I had a lot of points left over to where I could put more into like talking or dialogue or hacking abilities and different things like that. Also, your companions as well are something you need to consider with your skill tree. If you plan to be a person who likes to have companions around and just having people to support you, because their skills also double up with yours in the overworld. Like, let's say you get a person who can hack, well, that adds up to your hacking overall skill. And every other level, in addition to your 10 points, you also get a perk skill as well. And these perks are basically bigger buffs, I guess you could say, or boosts to certain type of things you want to put them towards. For instance, one of them was just a flat out 50% boost in health for your character. There's some other ones like being able to have a further distance from people before they can recognize you when you're sneaking, and keep increasing carrying capacity was one as well. In this game, you also have a slowed down time because your person is frozen and gets thawed out, so there's some dilations and some weird things going on with time for your character, so you slow down time, be able to hit people. That's kind of similar to Fallout when it comes to using like the Pit-Bull and its technologies to slow everything down and track the exact spots on a body to shoot. I'm not 100% on what that was called, but that's a thing in this game as well. So you can have these points while alongside having these perks. So you're actually upgrading two different things technically. Every level you get the 10 points, but every other level you get the perks, which are even bigger buffs that you will have for your character, which is pretty interesting. Your companions, which you'll have around with you, you're only allowed to have 2 at the same time. Your companions also level up as well, and you can also give them guns, and you can also give them armor to make them even stronger as well. There's even certain skills to allow them to be stronger or get more XP whenever your companions kill enemies. It's actually really efficient, and on screen you can see there, this is the galaxy of this game. You move around to these different spaceships, which you will find more along the way, and these other planets. So all the planets are there, you can see that in the map, but there's also these tiny little, I guess, spaceships or space stations you actually will end up showing up to as well and doing missions on also as you unlock more dialogue and unlock more lore with the different people around and these different planets you'll meet. Some will want you to go up there and do some things for you, or just to bring back data for them, or there's a lot of different stuff. Needless to say, there's lots of dialogue and there's lots of cool things you can do in this game. One of the biggest things for me in the Bethesda series that I didn't really like a lot was a lot of the dialogue seemed, mundane or boring, and the missions that I would give for them were just like fetch quests, which I kind of got tired of. In the game of open world games, we were trying to steer away from having side quests feel boring or repetitive. Like Red Dead Redemption and GTA and a lot of these other games, they're steering away from that. They don't like that anymore, and they're doing a good job at it. This game does that as well. Every side quest in this game might as well just been a main quest for me, because I could not tell the difference some of the times. I'd actually have to go into my menu and see if I was doing a main quest or a side quest. I wasn't 100% sure, because a lot of times if you do some side quests, you can get different alternatives to what would happen in the main quest if you help out like a certain faction, which brings me to that as well. Each of these different companies, which will be in the game, there's about 7 or 8 of them. One of them being called the Board, which is basically the people who kind of run the universe. While some of them are trying to still keep their freedom, they have to work against the Board with their corporations and stuff like that. These different corporations who sell different things within this little solar system here. You have a faction with them. So based off of how well you treat their community, because they'll be around, they might have different stations at different planets, or they might only be on one planet. When you have to treat them well there, or there'll be different factions like the Deserters. And there was the different factions where I had to choose literally whether or not I would give power to a certain faction, or the other one I couldn't give it to them. So you literally would be hindering your ability to be with one of the factions. I ended up being really bad with the Board. I'm about halfway through the game, maybe a little more than that, and I ended up being really bad with the Board. I did a lot of bad things for them because, as far as I could tell, they were taking freedoms away from the different people within this world and all these different companies, and the people were suffering because basically the Board were the higher-ups, the 1% who had all the power and the money. So I thought, fuck that. I'm going to go and I'm just going to tear their whole empire down. I ended up getting to where my reputation there was 99% bad. There's actually a meter that tells you how good you're being and how bad you're being. I had it all the way up, which meant that they would actually kill me on sight, which ended up changing the outcomes of certain side quests, because I had certain side quests from the beginning where I would eventually have to go later and do quests where the Board was. It actually changed the complete outcome and gave my side partners, my companions, completely brand new dialogue. It seems to be that they recorded dialogue for every companion and every single outcome that there could possibly be. So I have no idea how many strings of dialogue one companion could have, but it has to be a lot, because you can just flat out choose not to even have any companions on your team. You can do this completely companionless, or you can have companions come with you. The different companions will talk to each other. They'll talk to different NPCs that you're talking with during quests. Literally, there is like so many different dialogues. It's so crazy. I don't know how they did all this voice acting work. They must have done this for a couple of years, obviously, but this game is huge. Dialogue's good. The skill trees and everything else, it's good. It's not boring. You feel like you're actually doing a lot when leveling up. Your skills are great. Your companions are great. All that's fun. So let's talk a little bit more about environment and gun. I said gunplay, but I guess you don't necessarily have to use a gun, but environments. Each planet feels unique and different, and you can tell that with the people who are also there as well. The people are shaped and formed around that. There's actually a cult in this little jungle forest place, and it fits just perfectly well, because you would kind of expect them to be there because they're kind of crazy and they're just kind of, I don't know how you would say it, I guess just one with nature, so they're like holy spirited. It's really hard to explain. You'll get it once you play the game, but it's actually really unique, and the characters evolve around that. The people in the jungle tend to like nature more, and the people on certain planets, they have like sulfur and sulfur pits on the ground. The game looks beautiful. The nature and everything else looks really good. And then if you go to the place where the Board is, it's a super high-tech city. So each environment looks really unique and really different. You'll definitely get that feel that each planet has a really, really cool environment and background, and the people kind of use that. You can see here I'm sort of in this space station where all of the different companies are here, because this is kind of like the bridge point. This is called Groundbreaker, and this is basically where all of them meet up there. You can see all the different corporations and different stuff like that together. They're all here, sort of, and this is the last place that isn't controlled by the Board, and you're trying to either let the Board take them over, or you're trying to side against the Board. So each environment looks different, and you can definitely tell that apart. It's really interesting to see how they did this, and each mission's a little bit different. Like the people in the jungle who don't have a lot, they need power, so you got to help them do power. The places to have power, well, there's technicians and engineers and scientists, so you got to help the scientists do some different experiments and stuff like that. You can definitely tell the places that are more advanced, they don't need your help with like getting power and electricity. They'll have a lot of different things for you. So the missions reflect well with their environment, and the characters and everything else, and the dialogue definitely feels good. And it definitely feels like when you're in this new atmosphere with these new environments and people, everything is cohesive and it works well together. That's what I love about this game. Certain parts, like in Borderlands 3 during Eden 6 just felt really bland and boring to me. The missions were just like fetch quests, and I wasn't having a great time with that game during that time. When I played Eden 6, I actually was just trying to rush through it. Then again, maybe that was just the hype for it. Maybe I need to go back and play it. I still love Borderlands. Easily one of my favorite franchise, and it still is. But there's definitely just some things that this game did differently than Fallout 76 and Borderlands. They really took, I think, that extra effort into this game. And this is why I'm making this video, so you guys can go out and please give this game a try. Trust me, if you like BioShock, you like Fallout, you like Borderlands, I know you'll like this game, without a doubt. It is fun. It doesn't even matter what you did in those certain games, you will like this, because it has it for you. Any of the different things, if you're a dialogue character, melee character, attack character, it's in this game, trust me, and you'll enjoy it. So, the last thing I want to talk about was gunplay, and how well that responds. Fallout games felt a little clunky when it came to shooting. This game seems to completely eliminate that. I wouldn't say it's as fluid as like maybe Call of Duty or maybe like some PC shooter games or like Apex and different stuff like that. I wouldn't say it's super fluid and feels that well. I do think they could work on that a little bit because it doesn't feel completely good. I put the game on the highest sensitivity and it still feels slow to me because, I don't know, it definitely feels like it's a Fallout game with its shooting mechanics. It does feel better, though. It feels better than Fallout 76 does, and I had a lot of trouble with that. The only one nitpick or gripe, maybe this is just me, but the horizontal sensitivity and the vertical sensitivity are separate things, and there isn't a separate dial to scale that, which really bothered me. I did not enjoy that. Again, that's a small nitpick. I hardly noticed it, but still, that would be something I would like to maybe have an update or a change. That would be really nice. Also, whenever you're upgrading your gear in this game, you don't know which party member's gear is which. I wish it would put the name on there. That's another nitpick. There's small little details, like, that would help out in this game that I definitely think this game could use just to make the game a little more, I don't know, a little better for the user experience, and so I don't have to close out a menu just to see who has what and then go back in and do all that all again. But gameplay feels good, the guns feel good, modifying and upgrading the mods and everything, it really does feel great. So I think it's going to wrap up this video. We're almost at 20 minutes. This has definitely gone on long enough, but I'm ready to make more videos for 2020. Hopefully I can make more like this, but I will see you all in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, thank you for watching.